is Super Bowl week, and I believe Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl will have the game of his life and will get that contract extension. One other guy that needs a contract extension, CJ Gardner-Johnson, just based on what he told Julian Love. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and hope everyone's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. We gotta get in there. We are here, the week of the Super Bowl. I can't wait. I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this week. Can't somebody just hit me in the back of the head with a brick and let me wake up right before kickoff? I swear, this is gonna be the longest week ever. But Super Bowl week is here. Jalen Hurts about to go off. Now, before we get into it, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the most censored, most throttled Eagles content creator in all the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, thank you so much for all the support. All I ask is, double check, double moonwalk check. Make sure YouTube isn't doing any shenanigans. Now, today is Media Day, which is going to be happening in a few hours from when this video is made. The Eagles, they're going to get interviewed by the press. This is where you get a lot of stupid questions. A lot of things will come out of it. A lot of things to talk about. I'm sure I'll either put a video late tonight or talk about it tomorrow. We'll see. But there should be a lot of interesting interviews and things like that. I wish I could stream it live, but I gotta work, so I can't. But should be a lot of things come out. Sometimes there's really dumb questions. We all remember Alshon Jeffrey. His interview was classic. So we'll see what comes out of it. The Eagles have a lot of guys with a lot of character, a lot of personality, and it should be really interesting. One of the guys that has a lot of personality, who, to me, is built for Philly. He's the perfect fit for Philly, and he's going to have to stay. We have to find a way. He's probably my number one priority free agent this all season, and that is CJ Gardner-Johnson, okay? I absolutely love the kid. I love the way he plays. He played safety for the first time in his career. I think he's absolutely fantastic. And then to see what his response was to Julian Love, remember, the Giants player who said that Nick Sirianni, that anybody could coach a team. Nick Sirianni was in for the ride. I loved his response. I don't know if you guys saw this, but let me show you what CJ Gardner-Johnson, how he responded to safety Julian Love of the Giants. So here you go. CJ Gardner-Johnson, when asked about Giant safety Julian Love's criticism of Nick Sirianni, he says, "Tell him to pick his face mask off the dirt. He's got a captain badge, but what is he the captain of? Ain't no leadership over there. If that's the case, you all will be where we're at. Pound Eagles." Now that's a man. That's a man. Pick up your face mask. I love this guy. I'll sign him just on that comment alone. You see, it's an attitude that we like. It's an attitude. You got to go out and you got to play on the field. You got to give your all. You got to have all that. But you got to have the personality. And that's perfect. That's exactly what I like to see. I love CJ Gardner-Johnson. We got to sign him. No question about it. It's things like that that bring joy to my life. It's a little sunshine on a rainy day. Same thing last week with Jonathan Gannon saying what he said about the 49ers before the game. I like that kind of stuff. I like guys, especially defensive players, that are very, very aggressive. I do. It's going to be one hell of a Super Bowl. And I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's a lot of talk about Jalen Hurts and his contract extension. Obviously, we know he's going to get a contract extension. If you hear squeaking, it's not the chair this time. This is a different chair. It's the kittens. I got kittens over there, 4-week-old kittens, and they're playing. And nothing I can do about it. But Jalen Hurts, it looks like he is going to get a contract. And the Eagles are probably want to get it done fairly soon, because there's a lot of talk now that Lamar Jackson's going to get somewhere around $51 million, something like that. And then you got all the other guys that are going to get extensions. What about Burrow? What about Herbert? The longer you wait, the more it's going to cost you. So here's this report. The Pound Eagles are having a sense of urgency to extend quarterback Jalen Hurts before Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Tua. I didn't never say his last name. Per Jay Fowler of ESPN, Hurts' deal should easily surpass over $50 million per season. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money to give a guy in a season. No question about it. However, what choice do you have? Like I hear a lot of people saying, "Well, you can't go out and pay a quarterback that much. You can't pay everybody around you. How are you going to pay everybody else?" What are you supposed to do? What are you going to do? You're going to let him play one more year and then walk? Now you have to go draft another quarterback? I don't think that you're going to just find another Jalen Hurts in the draft. I think that the stories of the Jalen Hurtses, the Russell Wilsons, the Tom Bradys, those are far and few between. There's a lot of guys that come in between those. So I don't see what choice you have, especially if Jalen Hurts goes out and wins a Super Bowl. Now, I am telling you right now, I fully believe it in my heart that Jalen Hurts was built for this moment. I do. After you look at all the intangibles and his will, okay, and his belief in himself and his work ethic, he has done everything he can for this moment. I believe Jalen Hurts will go out and play the game of his life, the best game of his career, this coming week in the Super Bowl. I truly believe it. And when he does, what are you going to do? How are you going to not pay the guy? If he goes in and wins the Super Bowl, you got to pay him. And yes, I know it sucks because then you can't pay other guys, and that happens to a lot of teams, which means you better draft really mother humping good. But as long as Howie Roseman stays in the SEC, I think we'll be all right. Just keep drafting Alabama guys. Keep drafting Georgia guys. We're going to be okay. It's been working the last few years. Keep doing it. But in all seriousness, I don't understand those who say we can't pay Jalen Hurts, because then you're tied up. I don't see what choice you can. I don't believe you can just have another quarterback come in and just do what Jalen Hurts did. Now, I know this is a good team, and I know that they're very talented, but I don't think every quarterback would win a Super Bowl with this team, even still. Jalen Hurts is that guy. He is the system. I truly believe that. You got to pay him. Now, when you do pay Jalen Hurts, the good thing is this. You give him an extension next year. The Eagles should be able to structure it in a way that at least next year, if we're trying to repeat and we wind up winning Sunday, then trying to repeat, it should not kill us against the cap. They should be able to structure it in a way where it doesn't kill the cap next year and the extension kicks in after the year. You give them a bunch of upfront money, things like that. That could give us one more year. Now maybe that allows us to keep an extra player or two and try to make a repeat. But I don't see what choice you have. And that's why that 10th overall pick is going to be so important for the Eagles. I think it's a huge pick because you got to start to replenish talent, okay? And I don't want to talk about the offseason. I really don't. But I am going to mention this. If the Eagles go out and win the Super Bowl, I expect Howie Roseman to not do what he did the last time they won the Super Bowl and re-sign and bring back a bunch of older guys. There was a thing Belichick said long ago that oftentimes when they win a Super Bowl, they try to replace 30% of the roster because a lot of guys, once they win a Super Bowl, they're not the same. Something goes from them. I don't believe a Jalen Hurts or somebody like that would allow that to happen for himself, but you never know with other players. So I think the Eagles are going to have to change over the roster a little bit. You're going to have to. Just the fact that you need to bring in hungry mouths, hungry stomachs. You got to bring in hungry guys that want to win, that want to come into a team that won a Super Bowl last year and try to win again. The mistake we made last time after the Super Bowl, after we won, we brought back all these older guys. Now, there's some guys I bring back. Of course, Kelsey, of course, Lane will be back. I would try to bring back Brandon Graham if I can. But that we'll talk about all that later. That stuff right now, it isn't important. What's important is the Philadelphia Eagles got a game on Sunday. They got to go out and win. Jalen Hurts, they're going to try to extend him, no doubt about it, and I would do it as soon as possible. But Jalen Hurts, I expect to go out this week. I think he's going to have the game of his life. And if Jalen Hurts does what I think he's going to do, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have a real tough time winning. The Chiefs need him to have a bad game, and you know, they need to keep the Eagles one-dimensional in some ways, and that's the only way. I think if Jalen Hurts does what I think he's going to do, I think the Eagles are going to win, and it's going to be by double digits. But we'll get into the preview prediction video later. The one thing I will say is Mahomes does scare me. Jason Kelce does scare me. If you give Mahomes time to throw, he can tear it up. If there's 3 minutes left in the game and Chiefs are down by 4, yes, it would scare me with Mahomes. So you got to build up a lead. Jalen Hurts got to have the game of his life, and I got to tell you, I expect him to. We will talk about Media Day in the next video, whether that's tonight or tomorrow. Look for it. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's our vision. We're all just living in it. Well, let me ask you guys a question, right? If you were to look at this cat, this is Maximus, this is my boy. If you were to look at this cat, would you think it's Siamese? Right? He looks like he has Siamese in him, right? What if I was to tell you this cat has no Siamese in him whatsoever? Isn't that crazy? We just got his DNA results back earlier, and he has 0. Kind of surprising. Denzel Washington out.